Yeah. You're audible.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I think something went wrong with my camera. I'm not able to show my face. My sincere apologies for that. Uh, yes, thanks for the introduction, Anand. It's always a pleasure to be part of our system, which actually enhances our life in a different angle, which is actually that must be the root for everybody. Okay, thank you so much once again. And let's move on into our subject called roots. Let me share my screen. Let me know once you can see, Anand. Is my screen is visible?
Yeah, it is visible now. Yeah. Just see.
Okay, great. Wow. Okay, fine. Um, the topic I've chosen today is roots. Uh, always I do get everybody, most of us, right, will get fascinated about the nature and to be in nature and to explore about nature and also enjoy the enrichment which gives to us, right? uh, so roots, it's such a beautiful word, okay? And I always say my children don't forget the roots. It means a lot for us, right? Particularly when we move out of our hometown, our country, then we feel that the roots has been aparted from us. So I always have a very strong feeling that we should be united with our roots at, at the mind level always. Okay. Okay, fine. Roots. So when we hear this word, what comes in your mind? You can chat with me. I can let me. Anybody? What do you understand when we say it's about roots? Anand, my screen is not visible, right? Foundation, correct. Plant roots, family roots, absolutely. Is my screen visible?
Yeah. Screen is visible. Keep telling. Screen.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, some more. Let me go to the chat. Okay. Yeah, I heard from Muthu, roots is a foundation, plant roots, family roots. Yes. Ayana says it's a plant root, family roots. Yes. Great. Okay. Uh, yes. When we hear about the word roots, we generally think about the foundation. Actually, a lot of things comes to our mind. Just now I said that whenever I think about the roots, it looks like it is always we go back to our hometown or our home country where we are brought up and our memories, okay, our family, our friends, and the place where we lived, the school which we studied, and the experience which we went through. All this becomes the base for us, right? So in this way, like when we think about, I just explored. I just left my mind to think more about it. 1 minute. I can't see my screen, but give me a minute. Okay. Uh, so when I just left my mind to explore more about what is all about roots, okay, and not only about what we went through in our, I mean, not only about our origin, but also about what more I can think about it, and I just left my mind to explore about it. And I found a few more interesting facts coming up in my mind. And I thought, okay, let me do the lecture based on this. I've already given this lecture in our Tamil class for ladies, and this is the repetitive in English. So whoever attended the Tamil will definitely know what I'm talking about. So today's agenda is very simple. That I'm just going to explain to you all that what are the essential roots of life. Okay, as I already somebody shared, yes, roots. When we think about roots, we definitely we roots is actually something which is not seen outside, but what we see outside is the beautiful trees, and a beautiful tree with its branches spread wide every I mean in a very wider way, in a larger way, with a flourishing green leaves and flowers and fruits and beautiful. I mean, the chirping birds will have the nest on it, and what we experience is a beautiful scenario, right? It's a beautiful scenery. When we think about when we think about roots, the tree is alone which we see first in our mind. Am I right? So, but the hidden part is the strength and the beauty is seen out, but how depth and strong the roots should be for the tree in order to establish itself in such a beautiful and an extravagant, in a such a bold vision to us. How we when we imagine that the amount of the height and the width which the trees grows into, the same amount of depth it has to go with its roots. That's the actual science fact which we all know, that root has to be very strong in order for the tree to stand firm and beautiful and strong. Am I right? So the beauty and the strength of any tree depends upon the root. Similarly, even we do have some hidden essential roots within us, which actually have to travel in a very deep level in order for us to stay strong, both physically and mentally and socially and emotionally, so that we lead a happy life for ourselves as well as for the people around us. This is what we are going to think more about. So let us think about what are those hidden essential roots. Anybody can unmute and say whether what am I trying to focus over here? Any clue about what are those hidden essential roots for us? Can chat? Okay. Okay, let me not keep the suspense. So let us go into the main thingy. The first root I consider is the our life energy. Anything which is created in this universe, okay, it does have some origin somewhere. So how are we to know what is the origin? As somebody said, it's a foundation. So even for human, we do have a foundation. Where is that foundation is all about? What is it all about? Should we not know about our foundation? Should we not know where it is coming from, what it is made of, from what is its origin? That becomes the question. Even a small sapling, when it is growing, when we sow a seed into the ground, what actually we see outside is the small leaf coming up. But before that, what happens is the root is deeply growing at the bottom. So, and we can see only the few, then only after that only we will be able to see the leaves coming up. So initially, what happens is it just gets rooted in the ground. Similarly, even I mean, for a human, it is generally understood that if if the fetus is growing inside a mother's womb, that's where we say that the life has already started, right? So, is that the origin? Is that the origin? That's the origin which we know. But what exactly is the origin of that life, which is actually started in the mother's womb? When we think more depth into it, it is unknown for us. Actually, everything happens in the darkness. The mother womb is also dark, right? Uh, we cannot see that outside. Similarly, there are various secrets of the world which is happening without, I mean, not in front of our eyes or cannot be seen through our vision also. So these special things, these special, in the sense like secrets, need to be understood only through our meditative powers or through our lessons which we learn from our gurus. Actually, science is still struggling to understand where is our origin is from coming from, whether it was created by somebody or it got evolved. These questions are still not yet answered 100% correctly. They still go about doing research on various theories and laws and various science researches are still being done in order to understand what is our origin is all about. But uh, nearly centuries ago, our siddhas, our yogis were able to understand what is our origin is all about, and has written a lot of poem and books based on this, and left us with the secrets known to the people. Uh, so I don't blame science, okay? Science is trying to find a way where it can be felt physically, but that's not the case. We cannot see everything physically, right? There are many things. We call it in Tamil as maraipurul, that is which is hidden. We cannot see them through our physical eyes. We have the limitations towards it, but definitely we can through our meditative powers, like how our ancient sages and saints have done. We also will be able to realize them through our meditative powers when we go deeply into our in our meditation. Okay, so that's the why we are supposed there's various poems and have written by various sages and scholars, and one among the poem from our own guru Maharishi is about the life energy particles. I tried translating it from Tamil to English. Let me read that to you. The ether, which is nothing but the life energy particle, which is actually the Paramanu, otherwise called as a Paramanu, when it orderly rotates, it does generate life. And when it spins and circulates, it starts building up a physical form. For us, it's a physical body in the mother's womb. And it also protects our body right from the start when it gets inseminated. Okay. When the order of function within the body is collapsed, when that order get collapsed, that is where the energy particle, the life energy particles, that is the spirit, exits from our body and merges with other life, or it merges with the universe. This is the essence of our life energy particles from where we are coming from. So we are nothing but the life energy particle. Okay, now there will be a question why I have to know about my origin. What is the use of it? This may be probably popping up in our minds. Of course, many of us here are already masters and Brahmanyans, and we already know why we are supposed to know. Anybody for that case, particularly human, we would like to identify ourselves from where we belong to. Like, we belong to this race, we belong to this country, we belong to this language, all this we have an address. Similarly, even our life, where it has got originated, because from where it came from, it has to go back, right? So what is the path? What is the way to go about going back to that our destination? How are we going to make it? Then we have to travel back in the same way only. So our system makes it very, very easy for us to understand from where we are originated and how are we going to take the way back. They have given us a lot of tools, a lot of meditations in order for us to swim this ocean of life and go back to our origin, right? So the life energy particle not only takes care of our body, but it also takes care of our mind as well. Okay. In our system, we generally do meditation focusing on our life force particle, right? So, what is the reason behind this? Behind that, anybody can let me know why are we focusing on the life energy particle? Why are we not focusing on breath or not on our or seeing some lamp or just close our eyes and be within us? So why are we just focusing on the life energy particle? Anybody can let me know? No? I'm pretty sure that everybody knows the answer. For getting concentration at life force, yes. Yeah, that's where the meditation is. Yes, we are trying to focus on the life energy, but that is to get to why are we supposed to get the concentration? That's my question.
Connecting back to the origin.
Yes, where is the origin in our life force? Yes, life force is the origin for mind. Correct. uh, its origin for all life. Okay, that's where the absolute space lives. Okay, it's not genetic center. I exactly not genetic center, but of course that can be considered also. But the actual fact is. The spirit the divine stays in that particular life force, the life energy particles. And once we start focusing on our life force, on our life energy particle, and we continue with our meditation, then where we will be landing is we will be landing we will be getting connected to that particular divinity. That's the main aim of our meditation. So once we start focusing on our life energy particle, the spiritual consciousness, the journey of the spiritual consciousness begins. Okay, that's the main aim. And once we start realizing it, once we start from where is our origin, and once we start focusing on it, we become that divinity within us, and the destination becomes easy. Okay, does it happen only at the meditation? That is, our meditation taught us that how to focus on our life energy and continue the meditation. But after completing the meditation, what are we supposed to do? Will we be going back again to the normal life? And just only half an hour is enough in a day for us to keep in connection? No. The Maharishi emphasizes that you be conscious at the center of your forehead and head always. That's where you have to keep your awareness changing from the disturbance of the world. Of course, apart from your work, if your thoughts or the mind are deviating to and something else, or to the either to the past or to the future, or some unnecessary thoughts or some negative thoughts, then he emphasizes us to bring the conscious back to the center of your forehead and head. Okay, so this is by doing this, what exactly happens is we do gain that spiritual consciousness continuously in connection. That is, we do get connected with that spiritual consciousness continuously, and we don't have to like get disconnected from that. What is the basic reason behind getting connected with this? Is to achieve oneness within us. That is to understand that all that is existing in this world, all the human, all the living things, all the animals, plants, and whatever has been created by nature is all from the same origin only. Once we start realizing this, we will not lead a life of a selfish human life. Okay, we will be living the selfless divine life. So that's what is the essence about understanding. I mean, the understanding the importance of why we need to have the spiritual consciousness, why we need to attain the spiritual consciousness, and attaining the spiritual consciousness is is attainable through our meditation by focusing on the life force energy. So not only through our meditation is the first step towards learning about how to focus on the life energy. But after we could do the continuous practice of it, we will be able to get in touch with that particular oneness, that particular divinity all through the day, without any deviation. That is what is called as oneness. So why we need to be in oneness? Okay, that's the next question. Why we require that? Yes, of course, we understand that where we came from and what we are, and where all this creations has been came from. What is our origin? We understand everything, and we get connected to it. So what happens because of that? When we connected to the oneness, what happens because of that? Anybody? Sorry, I'm maybe putting a lot of questions, but that will give us a more clarity about why we are doing it. To connect with super consciousness present in each Paramanu. Yes, of course, but why that oneness is required? Okay, why we need the oneness? When we understand, just like how a potter makes different kinds of pots, vessels, toys, plates, and from the same mud. Okay, different kinds of things are being manufactured by the potter. So let's imagine that potter is the god, and we are all the creation are in this world are made by that beautiful creator called God. Okay, so when we understand that we all came from the same origin, same place, same from the same source, what feeling which we do get within us is more important for us to live our life harmoniously in this world. So that is the reason why we need to have the spiritual consciousness always on, kept on within us. Okay, so that's what actually Maharishi also emphasized in the Blossoms of Life, in the book Blossoms of Life, under the topic spiritual consciousness. There is only one thing that is actually missing in this world, and you know what it is? A man not respecting his fellow human and not living in harmony. This is the one important essential thing which is actually missing in this world, he says. I'm not saying this, this is told by Maharishi. The reason behind is not realizing the origin of life. The vast progress which we have achieved through science can be really useful for us only if this spiritual awareness is present within all of us, not only present, when we always keep that awareness on within us. That is where we can live in harmony, and that is where we can live in harmony with all the things in this world and with all the human in the world. Else we will be splitting with ego, and a small ego within a person will split into a fight, and the family may split, the society may split, the country may split, and of course the war will arise. So in order to have that is the main goal of our system, right? Our Vedatrium is to attain world peace. So where it has to start from is from the individual, and that individual, where it has to start from is to identify the spiritual consciousness within them and live our life in bliss. This is what is one particular route. The main route is to understand where we are originating from and keeping in connection with it, and continue our spiritual consciousness, keep it on always, in order to have a very harmonious and a meaningful, happy life. The second route which I was thinking about is love. Love in sense, the affection, the care, the protection which every human being can give to each other. That is what I meant by love over here. And this love need to be rooted within us, and so that with every individual, so that family is being taken care with more love, affection, care, and protection. And once the family is being taken care of, the family peace will be attained. And once the family peace is there, of course, the society, the world will be in peace at the greater extent. Right. So, what exactly do we require in order to keep the roots enriched with love? Of course, everybody wanted love and affection and care and attention in the family, but in a day-to-day life, we tend to get busy with our day-to-day life in focusing on many materialistic achievements. We forget about the basic what to say quality, the basic ingredients which we are supposed to enrich of the love within us. There is a message: love all, serve all. Okay. Okay. So what is it that we require? What are the ingredients which we require in order to enrich that love within us? Anybody can answer? What are the main ingredients? Divine consciousness, yes, that is there. And once we realize that the divine within us is also there with our family members or with the people around us, then definitely we are going to. But in a day-to-day life, say for example, I'm driving on the car, okay, on the road, and so I'm in a hurry, and somebody in front of me is not giving me way. Then what we do is we get angry, right? We our peace is disturbed. We immediately we forget that the other consciousness is also over there driving in front of me, and maybe they're not aware that the speed limit, or they're maybe some kind of disturbance we do get within us, and immediately we jump up into angry. So what exactly is required at that point of time, at that place, where we can avoid that uh, conflict within us and keep ourselves in peace? Yes, individual peace, self-realization, yes, everything is correct, but there are few ingredients, few tools, or few important essence which Maharishi has given us in order to keep ourselves pouring in love, and so that the family is being taken care of, the society is being taken care of, there is a friendship is being maintained, and the relationship is maintained within each and every individual. What are those ingredients? Okay, let me give it off to you all. It is actually the tolerance, the acceptance, and the sacrifice we are supposed to keep practicing within us. Yes, acceptance, correct, Mr. Subramani. We need to practice these tools on a regular basis in our day-to-day life in order to enrich that particular love, called the root called love, so that we are being protected by that love, and we also protect the other people with that same love. So these are the tools which Barishi has given us in order for us to practice on a daily basis, day-to-day basis, and regularly. Our famous poet Tiruvalluvar has written in one of his couplet poem on the topic love. Okay, he calls the body of human as only if it flourishes with love, then that is called as a human. But if the body or the human where there is no love, then he just says it is just a skeleton. Which is covered with skin. So the main, apart from blood, veins, and vessels, and everything, the main ingredient which we are supposed to have within us is the love, the affection, the care, the attention, or the protection which we are supposed to give to the fellow human being and to ourselves. Okay, so that's how important is the love. Let me relate a story to you all based on love. there was a one small village where a family was living in a great harmony, and everybody loved that family. They were of a husband, wife, and two children. They were everybody was talking about it, and it was overheard by some angels. Okay, three angels from the heaven. So they thought of testing this family and came down one day and knocked their door. Okay, and somebody from the home came and opened the door and asked them. They came in the form of a human, and they said they are in a great hungry and can you serve us food? The women of the house, that is the mother of the house, invited them inside and did a great gesture of giving them food. Okay, prepared a very nice food and gave them treated the guest with a lot of attention and care and love. After finishing their lunch, they were asking the family about what do you all want? Do you all want the authority, that is the power? They said that we are very happy, but and we would like to gift you all something. And what do you all want? We can empower you all with power, that is the authority, so that you can rule everybody. Or do you want more wealth so that you live very happily in a materialistic world? Or do you want love and care? Okay, the father of the family, that is the head of the family, who actually wanted to have the authority, the power. He said, "Yes, power will do, and I can really help. I mean, I can really take the power to myself and take care of many people and love many people." Okay, I'm sorry. Empower many people. That's what his thought all about. And the children, since they were young, they said, no, 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 give us wealth so that we live more happily, we can get more stuffs to ourselves, and we also can give to many people. That was their request. But the mother of the family said, I think love will do. If the love is there, even if the other two is not there, we can still live happily. That's what her request was. On hearing the mother's words, the angel said, okay, let love be here. And as they said, they disappeared. Okay, but there was a voice coming as soon as they disappeared. Since you requested love, we give the love, authority, and as well as the wealth to the whole family, because love brings everything into the family. This is just a mythical story, though it may sound like a mythical story, but these are the real fact. Where there is love, there is always happiness, there is always people will like you, and they will listen to you. That's where the empowerment comes and the authority comes. And when there is love, of course, the wealth automatically, the happiness is always there. And whether you have more wealth, it doesn't matter for you, or whether you have less wealth, it doesn't matter for you. You will be keep living a very harmonious life. Okay. But in the recent in our day-to-day life, I mean, whatever we come across, there is often a lot of separations, lot of conflicts, lot of arguments, ego inflicted arguments are being done. What are we supposed to do in order to save a relationship? What need to be done? That's a big question which we have in our society as of now. We not only break the hearts, but we also break the family. We also break the basic root, which is called as love, which is called as the faith. That's how the children are being educated without giving any words. How happy that family lives, that's how the children will be in their future. And that's where the happy society can be created. If the children are losing faith in the family, if they're losing faith in the marriage, then there is no family is going to exist anymore in this society, right? So what are we supposed to do in order to maintain that relationship? Is at least one person have to be in that particular love, have to protect that particular love. Even if the other person is not able to convey the love, or not able to understand the love, or not able to absorb or give the same love, it's fine. Even if they're not able to reciprocate back to the other person, it's fine. But the one person, if they realize, okay, yes, let me be the one who absorb all the negativity and give the positivity back. That is the more patience, more tolerance, and more acceptance is if one person has, or also that relationship can be saved. Okay, there's another story depicting this particular statement. There was one husband and wife where they lived happily for first 2 or 3 years. Then after that started a lot of arguments and fights and difference of opinion, and each of them were going in a different direction. Okay, and they also came to a decision that if we are going to continue this kind of life, it's better to get separated. That decision, they were in the edge of that decision. Okay, one fine evening, the wife, after her work, and with great distress, after fighting with her husband, went into the kitchen to cook something. Okay, and she noticed a lizard was carrying some food and running somewhere. Okay, and she noticed on the first day, she noticed the same thing. On the second day, she noticed the same thing. On the third day, for nearly on a stretch of 4 or 5 days, she noticed the same thing, that the lizard is carrying something and running behind somewhere. It is not eating also, it is just carrying and going somewhere. Okay, so she tried to follow that lizard, and happened to see that the lizard is entering into a cupboard, and in that cupboard there was another lizard got struck its leg inside that cupboard. Okay, and it is not able to come out of that particular it got caught over there. Something happened and its leg got caught over there, and it was not able to come out of that particular cupboard by itself. So just because that lizard is not able to come out, it was not able to find its own food. This lizard is going and giving the food to that lizard which is caught inside the cupboard. On seeing that, the wife cried out in like shame, and at the same time she realized that if a small lizard, which is actually not even 4 cents, okay, and is able to do this, why can't I, being an educated human, where we lose this particular essence called love, where we lose the tolerance, where we are not able to acceptance, why are we not giving up on our ego and keep fighting this way? So these questions came to her mind, and the realization came to her, and started pouring love toward her husband, and their marriage is saved. So from this story, what we understand is that in order to save a relationship, it doesn't matter whether the relationship is only between a husband and wife, but it can be between a brother and sister, or a brother and brother, or sister and sister, or maybe within the family, uncle, aunt, or anybody it can be. So if either one is able to give up on that ego and keep accepting them, then that relationship can definitely be saved. And if once we have the healthy and harmonious family, that will lead to a healthy and harmonious future generation, and healthy and happy society and world. So love is once again a very important root which we need to cherish, okay, which we need to enrich, okay. And Muthu sir has explained about 5 steps towards improvising any relationship. This is from Maharishi's poem. He did a lecture, and from there I extracted these 5 steps and given it to you all here. The first step is we need to introspect what we exactly want in life. Okay, we may have many materialistic goal. Okay, I want to learn this, I want to study this, I want to go for this university, I want to work here, I want to earn this money, I want to build a house. It can be anything. Okay, but at the end, what will be the end result is happiness. That is, you should be happy with what you have. You should be having that contentment feeling within you. Only then the other goals can be achieved. So at the end of any introspection, what exactly you're looking for, the goal of all goal is peace. That's the statement which generally I used to see as a quote somewhere. The goal of all goal should be peace. If that is being emphasized in all your goals, if the contentment is in place in whatever you do, in whatever you get, and once you realize that the people around us is all our own people, our own origin, then that particular contentment, that difference of opinion, that split in the relationship may not happen, and you will be having a very peaceful life. The second thing he is asking us to do is post a question: how can you help others? That is, say, for example, your wife or a husband, or your children, or your brother, your sister, your parents, or anybody. How can I help for them to get that particular piece, for them to achieve their goals? What I can do within the limits. While doing that help, you should also analyze that your action or your thoughts should not harm you as well as them, either now or in future. Okay, either physically or mentally also. That this is the basic morality which we need to follow in order to help anybody, in order to help ourselves as well. Next, third step is reduce the expectation. You cannot live life without expectation. Of course, we do expect things from people, but what Maharishi emphasizes is reduce the expectation. As you start reducing it, you will be able to avoid any expectations from other people. That's where exactly the acceptance goes away. If you have expectation, then the acceptance will not be there. Okay, that's where the disturbance comes in. Okay, then comes the acceptance. That is, under this acceptance, he is asking us to do two more introspection. First is whether I'm having a love feeling towards them or a hatred feeling towards them. This particular introspection need to be there. The next introspection is, am I friendly in my words, actions, and thoughts towards this particular relationship, or am I developing the enmity? Am I seeing only the bad side of them? Am I complaining about them? Am I feeding myself with wrong thoughts about them? These questions which need to be put, and always we should whether no matter what that person is going to be, but convert that into a always try to convert your vision of seeing the good side of them. Okay, then that's where you will be developing the friendly feeling, the love towards them, and you will be able to accept them, and then you will be able to help them in order to for them also to achieve the peace. As I told you, the duty consciousness should be there. That is, you should not harm them while helping them, or in order or being along with them. We are not supposed to harm them physically or mentally, either now or in future. That should not bring in the cause is us. If we start analyzing in that way, then the effect of our thought, action, and deeds will definitely bring back only the good stuffs to us. And also practice a detached attachment. That is, do whatever you can, but don't expect at the same time. You have to keep the attachment as well as detach your attachment. Okay, that is how the family tree grows, and the love is enriched. The root called love is enriched within us. Okay. Maharishi, in one of his poem, he called it as Illera Nonbu, which is otherwise called as, it's a fasting, it's a kind of penance, it's a kind of meditation, it's a kind of prayer, okay, which we are supposed to do towards our family, okay, and that the translation is, let me read it to you. Family is a place where love oozes, okay, in which the man and women, if hurt each other, if they are hurting each other, the pain will affect those who infect the pain and will become a curse and disease in their life. He warns us, actually. He really warns us through these statements. And please be aware of this. And in order to increase the happiness, please bless them with a smiling face, practice patience, sacrifice, and adequacy. Only in such family the children will flourish. And he says this after analyzing many families around him, which he did throughout his life, and has given this poem for us in order for us to follow this family penance in our family. Okay. Next root is our culture. I hope everybody are in align with me. Culture is very, very important. Why is it important? Let me explain. Culture means, first of all, what culture exactly means is the language which we speak, the manners of interacting with people, the thoughts which we think in our mind, the values which we exhibit through our behaviors, and what also and the practices which we do on a regular basis, the relationship, how we maintain the relationship with our fellow human being, the customs which we follow, the rituals which we follow, the communication which we do, all of them becomes the culture. Okay, the tradition, the religion, everything creates the culture within us. And why is it so important is the thing which we do on a day-to-day basis becomes our norms. Okay, that is how we think, that is how we do our actions. Based on the thoughts we do our action, and based on those actions we get imprinted within ourselves in our GC as habits, and that becomes our character, and that becomes our destiny also. That's where we'll be leaded to. But if we are not taking care of what we are doing on a regular basis, on a daily basis, each and every thoughts, each and every action, if we are not taking caring of that, then we will not be rooted in a I'm sorry, rooted, ROUTE, rooted in a correct direction in order to reach our destination. So, not only that, in order to bring in the social value for in the larger extent to the whole society, then we need to have the culture corrected. Uh, we may have a lot of culture. Everybody have their own essence of following it, but in general, it should generate a social value at the larger extent to the society, so that the whole world is being protected by our own action. So each and everyone has the responsibility about exhibiting our own action through the culture which we follow. Our guru recommends how about we can live a very the culture which is actually emphasized and I mean which is actually accepted and which will bring in good unto all of the whole community. Okay, he emphasizes to live a life by the methods defined by great scholars, the learned people who have written about how we are supposed to lead a life. And there are 5 tips to bring in change in our life. Okay, so the first tip which he says is morality at the thought level. That is Sindanayil Olukam. Okay, that's what he says. If we start correcting our thought, our mind. I mean, start correcting our thoughts at the thought level within us, then our actions can be automatically corrected next. That's how morality in action. Sometimes even if we are thinking good, but we'll never like to yell at our family member, our husband or a children. But still, what we do is we lose patience and we exhibit the anger, and finally the action is not in the right way. So morality in action is, even at the thought level, then the next level it has to move on to the action also. It requires a lot of patience and practice. Then only we'll be able to bring in that morality in action. Even if you're bringing in thought level, it is not enough. You have to put it in the action, and then you have to move on with your service unto your family and to your society and to the world. And then comes the reformation here. He talks about a lot of reformation which we are practicing in our day-to-day life, which is affecting our culture, which is affecting the individual GC also. He has given a lot of tips. I'll just name few of them over here. And for example, uh, there's a lot, but let me relate that particular reformation, what he emphasizes in the form of story. Okay, there was one man who had 2 beautiful cats in his home. Okay, they were his pets, and those pets also love him so much, and they play with him a lot, and they lived happily. Okay, but what is the problem for that man with those cats is they never let him to do his work. Okay, they always come and sit on his lap. So he'll not be able to exercise, he'll not be able to meditate, he'll not be able to do his work at home properly. So what he does is, in a day, in order to do all his basic responsibilities, he puts those cat inside a basket and closes off them, and does his exercise, does his meditation, does his cooking, all of that stuff, and then he releases them back and plays with them. Okay, so this he started practicing since in his teenage or some younger age, and he started growing, and he had a son and he had a grandson who were seeing him, who were growing up and seeing him his practice, also started doing the same thing. Then one final day, the grandson of that particular man, when he started his life, where the grandfather is no more there, he didn't have cats in his home. Okay, but what he did was go out and pull and take some cats which is on the roads or which is in the next door, and I mean in their neighborhood, and put it in a basket and close it, and did all his work, and then he released the cat. So they did not analyze why the grandfather first did and why am I doing now. This analysis was not there. So Maharishi emphasizes these kind of reformation only in our day-to-day practices and in our culture. There is a lot of tips which he has given in that, where maybe if you could get a chance, if you can take his books and reads, they are very enlightening. They make us to think that what we do on a regular basis without thinking whether that adds value to us and to the people around us. So such questions will definitely will be giving you a lot of enlightenment in your day-to-day action also. Okay, after doing this, then we need to keep striving for greatness in life. Striving for greatness in life. Again, there is 3 steps involved, which he actually mentions in his books. Practices. That is, see, it's not enough that we do morality in thoughts, morality in action, but we need to keep striving. Not one time in action, not one time in our thought we have to bring in morality. It has to be part of us. It has to be. It is an ongoing action. Okay, so how are we going to get that greatness in life? Only when we do an ongoing in a stretch throughout our life, that these greatness can be achieved. Okay, it's not a one day achieve or after 50 years we can stop this. No, it is a lifelong. You need to keep doing this. So how are we supposed to do this? Is by doing these 3 practices. The first practice is called as Shruti, where he says learn from the books of scholars, whatever they have given us about how to keep practicing all these morality in our thoughts, action, and acceptance. I mean, in our day-to-day life, learn them and keep practicing. Then once we start keep learning, focusing on those books, keep reading and keep reading, and you will be able to put it into action. The next is yukti, that is through our mind at the meditative state. Here, many things do not work logically here. You have to take the decisions at the meditative state in a very based on assumption. While making this assumption, again, we need to be very careful, because being logical will not work here. That is, being logical will be comparing with the previous results of your previous experience, and based on that, you will be taking decisions. No, you need to see what is the possibility, and submit yourself to the divinity in order for you to get certain things achieved. Okay, that's what is called as yukti. That is a creating some method in order to achieve something in life, is falls under this category. In order to elaborate this, I think we need more time, so I'm just cutting short. I couldn't give you a proper example also on this. Let me move on to the next. Next is also the experience. So as I said, here the logical comes in. Based on the experience also, we need to change our practices based on the experience, what that experience gives us, and whether am I supposed to keep continuing with that particular action or thoughts or deeds to change my experience, or should I have the same experience, or should I enhance the experience? So these kind of practices we need to keep practicing within our life in order to strive for greatness in life. So roots are 3 roots I have identified. One of them is life energy particles. And in order to have oneness bring in oneness within us and live in harmony, and also to realize that divinity within us, we need to have this root is very, very essential, and we need to enrich this particular root by meditating, by keep ourselves in awareness, and by getting the spiritual consciousness, and keep that spiritual consciousness on within us. Okay, no, don't off it off. And the next is the next root is the love. It's called love. It is very abstract. We cannot see that. Also, it is also hidden, and it is visible only through our thoughts, words, action, and deeds. And based on that, the family peace is established in the family, and the family peace will lead to the society peace, and the society peace will lead to the world peace. Okay, then third root is the culture, which is nothing but the society, which is very important for us to establish a societal values, and each and everybody has the responsibility to bring in change or reform the culture which we are practicing. Analyze it. If it is going good unto you, please continue the practice. But if it is not bringing good unto you or to the society, don't continue it. Change the practice and live happily. Okay. All this emerged from our Maharishi's teaching about life, where the ignorance about the self, about that is the health, mind, and life force, and the ignorance about the divinity, and the ignorance about how to go about bringing in harmony within the family and society, creates all the problem in our society, in our life. Okay, so in order to remove this ignorance, we have to take care of these three roots. Okay, the thought emerged from this particular diagram only. This always I always try to fix myself in either of this. Where am I lacking, and where am I need to improvise? And it is an ongoing stuff. And I hope I made sense by bringing in this particular lecture called Roots. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Be blessed by the divine.